Most mysteries begin with a sound, footsteps in an empty corridor, whispers in an abandoned room, or the soft creak of a forgotten door. But this one begins with silence. A silence so deep, so unusual, that travelers swear they can feel it pressing against their skin. Welcome to the American highway where time itself seems to slow down. Many people think America is all speed, fast cars, fast lives, fast dreams. But in the remote edges of the country, far from cities and noise, there are roads that don't move with the rest of the world. Roads that seem to bend the laws of reality. Roads where clocks stop, watches freeze, and minutes stretch like shadows at sunset. This story begins with a highway known only in whispers. A long, lonely stretch of road crossing through desert land, where the sky feels too big, and the world feels too quiet. Locals call it the slow mile. Some call it the pause zone. But old-timers, the people who lived here long before any map was drawn, they have another name for it. They call it the road where time sleeps. Our story follows a young traveler, a girl in her early 20s, driving alone across the state. She wasn't running away from anything. She wasn't searching for trouble. She was simply heading home after a long trip, her car loaded with bags, snacks, and a playlist she played to stay awake. It was nearly sunset when she entered the highway. The sky was burning orange, shadows stretching long over the land. Ahead of her was a long, perfectly straight road disappearing into the horizon. But as she continued driving, she noticed something odd. The first sign was the dashboard clock. It flickered, then froze. 8:14 p.m. Stuck. She laughed it off at first, old cars always do strange things. But then she felt it. The air around her changed. The wind outside slowed. Even the sound of the engine felt quieter, distant, as if it were wrapped in cotton. She stared out the window and realized the world outside was moving slower. The tall grass on the roadside swayed in slow motion. A bird flying overhead moved as if caught in syrup. Her own breathing felt louder, heavier. She blinked rapidly, confused, thinking maybe she was tired. But then her phone vibrated with a notification. She picked it up. The time on the phone also said 8:14 p.m. It hadn't changed. Not even by a second. For a moment, fear crawled up her spine. She pressed her foot harder on the gas pedal. The car sped forward, but the world around her stayed slow, dreamlike, unnatural. As she drove deeper, she noticed something stranger. The sun had stopped moving. It hung in the sky like a painted picture. The colors of the sunset remained frozen, orange, red, and purple, locked in place. She felt her throat tighten. Something was wrong with this place. Terribly wrong. She grabbed the steering wheel with both hands and whispered, "What is happening?" No answer. The road was completely empty. No cars behind her. No cars ahead. Only a long ribbon of asphalt stretching through a silent world. And then, she saw it. A man on the side of the road. Standing perfectly still, too still, like a statue. He wore old clothing, dusty boots, and a wide-brimmed hat. But the strange thing wasn't his clothes. It was the fact that he wasn't moving at all. Not blinking. Not breathing. Frozen in time. Her heart pounded. She slowed the car as she passed him, staring through the window. For a moment, she wanted to stop and help. But something inside her screamed not to. She pressed the gas pedal and kept going. Only a few seconds later, she saw another one. A woman holding a bag of groceries, frozen mid-step. Her hair hung in the air as if blowing in a wind that no longer moved. The apples from her grocery bag were suspended mid-fall, motionless. The traveler's hands trembled. She wiped her eyes. Was she dreaming? Had she fallen asleep at the wheel? But no, she was awake. Her breath was shaky. Her skin felt cold. She drove faster. 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 But no matter how much she accelerated, the world outside didn't change. The frozen sunset. The frozen people. The frozen time. Her car started to shake violently. The radio turned to static. The lights on the dashboard blinked off entirely. And then, everything went black. For a moment, she thought the world had ended. But then her eyes opened. She was still on the road, but everything was different. The people were gone. The sky was dark now, deep blue with stars overhead. Her car engine hummed normally. The clock on her dashboard read 9:02 p.m. Almost an hour had passed, yet to her, it had felt like minutes. She pulled over, shaking, and stepped outside. Everything was normal. The wind blew normally. The world looked alive again. She felt dizzy. She felt sick. She felt scared. She got back in the car and drove straight to the nearest town, where she rushed into a diner, pale and panicked. The locals listened quietly as she told them what happened. An old man leaned forward and said in a calm voice, "You're not the first. And you won't be the last." He explained that for decades, maybe longer, people reported losing time on that highway. Some lost minutes. Some lost hours. Some lost entire days. Others claimed the opposite, that time slowed almost to a stop, just like she experienced. Some called it a magnetic anomaly. Some called it a government experiment. Some said the land itself was cursed, an ancient place where the boundary between worlds was thin. But the old man whispered the oldest belief of all. Time doesn't flow the same everywhere. Some places, time likes to rest. When she asked about the frozen people, the old man simply nodded slowly. Those are the ones who stayed too long. A chill crawled up her spine. She wanted to ask more. She wanted answers. But deep inside, she knew she didn't want to return to that highway. She left town quickly and never drove that route again. To this day, no scientist, no historian, no investigator has been able to fully explain what happens on that lonely American road. Some say it's electromagnetic fields. Some say it's a glitch in time. Some say it's a memory of the past bleeding into the present. Some say the land is alive, and it pauses time to observe whoever crosses it. But the truth, like many truths in America, is buried deep beneath dust and silence. So if you ever find yourself driving on a quiet highway at sunset, and your clock freezes, and the world slows down, whatever you do, don't stop the car. Keep driving. Keep moving. Don't look at the figures on the roadside. Don't look back. Because on that highway, time waits for no one. Except for the ones it chooses to keep.